Shalom Israel. So today we're going to look at one key difference between the Hebrew calendar and the Roman calendar. What you will notice is that there are no fixed dates on the Roman calendar. It is not consistent because it is not anchored to anything in the heavens. For example, look at one of the Roman feasts. Let's say, what's it called? Easter. It is usually the last Sunday in March, something like that. Or when you look at that one in November, Halloween, or are they, what's it called? The one before Halloween, that one where they say is the last Thursday, Thanksgiving, I think. I think it's the last Thursday in October, something like that. If you notice, they will say the last such and such day in the month, but they cannot give you a fixed date because if, for example, if their Easter was to be March 20th, guess what? March 20 will not always be on the day they want it to be. So they have to align it with the Sunday, which we all understand how that part goes, right? So they have to try to fit it there. So in order for them to fit it there, they can only go by whatever date the last Sunday falls on. That's why it's always changing. Now with the Hebrew, it's different because when you get a date, the appointment is set in the heavens, right? So the moon and the constellation will always let you know that it's the same time, right? A certain set of constellations that are fixed, right? So we're gonna look at just a few 4 years, right? And I'm gonna use January 3rd as one. That's my birthday. So I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna use the 14th day of the first month with the Hebrew, from the Hebrew standpoint, which is the Passover, and we will see something different. Now, as you can see here, January 3rd, as you can see, would be a black moon. The second is a black moon, and you know the moon is black for 3 days. So, third would be a black moon, right? Now, Passover, January 22, the new moon was the 17th. I'm going to show it on the board as well. So January 17 would have been the new moon. So Passover was the 31st of January. And when you come down here to February, you can see February 1st is a black moon. So the 31st of January would also be a black moon, right? So it's the same in the heavens. Now we're going to go to 2021. Right, 2021, and January 3rd, as you can see, the 6th was the half moon, so the 3rd of January was between the full moon and the half moon, right? Different from what we just saw. So that change, that is telling you that this, what they call solar calendar, is not anchored to the sun and it's not anchored to the moon. Has nothing to do with the heavens, right? Now the Passover, so January 28th was the new moon, and the Passover would have been the 10th of February, and as you can see, the 11th is the black moon, so that means the 10th would also be a black moon. So you see the consistency there, right? Now we're gonna go to 2020, and what you'll find is the 3rd of January now moves to half moon, right? So you see how my birthday would change every year, because it's not the same thing that I would be seeing to say yes, this was the date, right? So the stars you're looking at on your birthday is not the stars that were are not the stars that were present when you were born. So how can it be the same date? That's the thing to look at, right? No, the new moon for 2020 was February 9, right? So if the new moon was February 9, that means Passover was February 22nd, right? And as you can see, the 23rd is the black moon, so the 22nd was also a black moon. See the consistency? Let's go to year 2019. 2019, the 3rd of January, Roman calendar, my birthday. As you can see, it was going towards the black moon, so it's between the full moon and the black moon, right? The 3rd of January. No, Passover, I mean the new year, February 19. So Passover for us was the 5th of March, and as we can see, the 6th of March was a black moon. So the 5th of March, sorry, 19. Yeah, the Passover was March 4th, which is also a black moon. All right. So you can see the consistency. The Passover is always the same. It's always the same thing in the heavens. That's why he said he gave us appointed feast days. The ceremonial feasts, they are appointed in the heavens, right? So the Roman calendar has nothing to do with the heavens, and this is why you see the birthdays always changing. It always falls on a different day of the week, and different constellations, different alignment of the constellations, wherein in the Hebrew calendar, the solar, lunar, the sun, the moon, and the stars is always the same, right? So the 14th day of the first month is always the 6th day of the week. It's always the preparation day, just as we read in John chapter 19 and 39. It says it was a preparation day, the preparation of the Passover, because when you jump down to verse 14 or 11, it says it's the, matter of fact, let me just go there too. Right, here in verse 31, it says, the Jews therefore, because it was the preparation, remember, the preparation comes before the weekly Sabbath. So the preparation is always the 6th day of the week, because the weekly Sabbath is always the 7th. So if the weekly Sabbath is always the 7th, the day before that would always be the preparation day, right? Once it's before the weekly Sabbath. Good. Now jumping up here to verse 14 to make sure we understand what preparation it was. It says, and it was the preparation of the Passover. So the 14th day of the first month is always the 6th day of the week. Well, the 14th day of all 12 months is always the 6th day of the week, but I'm just exaggerating on this first month since we're dealing with it, right? The 14th day can only fall on the 6th day of the week. All right? So this is what the scripture says, this is what the Most High calendar is. No, if you keep your Passover and it's always, if the constellations are always changing, then something is wrong with the day that you're using. Because when the Most High sets an appointment, guess what? 10 generations after us, they can still see the same things, right? So we're gonna look at this on the board now to see something, to see what it actually looks like in practical. So this is something like theory. All right. Shalom. So here we have it now, as you can see. So we just looked at it through the different months, dates, right? So the Roman calendar, as you can see, January 3rd for my birthday, 2022, that would have been the black moon, right? And 2021, it would have been, you see, the moon changes a little bit, so it's not so black, it's not so full, right? In 2020, as you can see, half moon, and 2019, as you can see, black moon, and the year of my birth, 1987, as you can see, all the different phases change. So that means the Roman calendar is not anchored to anything in the heavens, right? This is just based on a community of men. Now, whereas when you look at the Hebrew calendar, as you can see, 14 days after the new moon, or 14 days after the moon is full, is always the black moon. That is consistent, right? So the only thing that will make differences throughout the year is a different set of constellations that change at each new moon according to Revelations 22 and verse 2, right? Matter of fact, let me just read it so we can understand. It says, verse 1, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. We know the throne is heaven, right? Verse 2, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits. The moon, 12 moons each year, and yielded fruit every month. So we know there are no trees on earth that brings forth fruit every month, right? So this is talking about something different. So every month, every new month, the constellations change, right? So it says, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation. So every new month the constellations change, but you have certain constellations that are fixed with each month.